that would be good.
So welcome everybody joining. So this is a call on what is ESSE, and we have Susie coming to India for the first time, and we're having Susie doing an ESSE class for the first time in India. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure people have a lot of questions. Susie, if you want to just take it from here, and if you can kind of give us a brief idea about what ESSE is and what can people expect out of a class like this.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me in India. I'm really, really excited to come down, or over, or however you want to call it. And so yeah, ESSE is basically part of body work that comes really from Access as well. When I first started this, it was basically from me doing a lot of body work on Gary and Dane, and using this energy that Gary later gave a name. And so this particular energy, ESSE, Gary also said, basically affects the glue of judgment that is holding your body in captivity. And so ESSE is an energy that can literally change the molecular structure of your body. And so structural embodiment is part of this, which, you know, you are embodying this whole reality. And part of it is having a body. And part of it is basically also the structural part of having a body in this reality. And so what if we could actually have more ease with all of that, you know? And part of having a body in this reality oftentimes for a lot of people means that there's pain and there's discomfort and there's all this stuff, but yet our body could really be our ally in this journey to consciousness, or in this journey in consciousness. And a lot of times that is really not being supported in a way. And Access is the only modality that I know that actually celebrates the body and that really gives you tools to have embodiment in a totally different way. And ESSE is supporting that in yet another way, another energetic way. You know, there's many body processes that you can run in Access consciousness, and ESSE is one of them, but it's a little bit different than running a body process. On a body process, you're basically calling up an energy and you're allowing the body to run this energy that you are calling up. In ESSE, you as a practitioner actually are engaging with the molecules and you're actively moving the molecules around. You're in a way really truly being with the body in a very present way, and you are with your touch and with your slight movement and pressure, you're inviting the molecules of the body to yet another form of change, but it is also energetic. So it's not a manual thing where you're, you know, just because you are pushing, for example, you're changing something. Your energetic push is much harder than the push that you can do with just pushing on a body with your hands, for example. But this energetic engagement that you're doing on a molecular level is really something different. You're calling the molecules of the other person's body really into your hands, into your awareness, and then you're starting to really play with it in a way. It's a little bit hard to describe, but the ESSE energy now has been used by so many people that really truly when we start the class, people are into it immediately and they can really just be with that energy immediately. Whereas when I started a long time ago, it wasn't really that easy to show people what ESSE was, because it's an energy, and how do you show an energy?
Right. So Susie, you also do a lot of work with animals, and there's this whole ESSE with horses and animals as well. So can you talk to us about what's the difference and how does this work on human bodies?
Yeah. Well, so it works on all bodies. Literally anything that has a body can receive ESSE, whether that's an animal, a person, or anything that has a body. Really, I have heard people talk about doing ESSE on a tree, and like I've actually done it myself too. So it anything that has a body in a way, and it doesn't even have to be a body with flesh and blood apparently. But let's just keep it to that for now. But really, truly, with the horses, it is so much fun, just because the horses are, or all animals, really don't hold on to a point of view. When a horse or an animal has an injury, they don't hold on to the point of view about the injury. They just are willing to let go of whatever it is and brings their body back into balance. And so it's really oftentimes the sessions on horses are much shorter. They can really just be quite dynamic. And the funny thing is, horses oftentimes, we use them to go riding and do things with them. And the biggest challenge I have had with horses is to actually get them to just stand there and receive and not have to do something. So a horse always has the point of view that when we engage with it, it now has to deliver something. For me, like it usually takes a whole day before the horses realize, oh, this is like a spa day. I don't have to do anything. I can just be here and receive. And so, that's also the fun part about doing it on horses is they do receive with such ease once they actually are there for that and present and realize that you are gifting something to them. um, but for people bodies too, I find that really bodies are willing to receive a lot more than oftentimes the being is willing to have. And that has also been something where in the beginning it was a bit of a challenge for me to work on people other than Gary and Dane, because a lot of people have points of views about their body that are superseding what the body would like to have. And so if I fight that, and I didn't even know I was fighting that in the beginning, I was literally just listening to the body, and I wasn't aware that the being had a different point of view, or I really didn't want to be aware of that. I always knew there was something weird going on, but I didn't really know what it was because I wasn't willing to really receive that information that the being might be in the way of what the body desires. And so it took me a while to kind of really play with that energy and recognize that, oh, okay, the being is what can also override the body. The being is what can basically give the body orders, and to really get not over that, but really to integrate that also into the session was a big challenge for me. But now it's totally ease and all of that, but it's very different from working on animals or Gary and Dane.
Same. So guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to probably put it in the chat, or you can feel free to unmute and ask your question. Until then, Susie, can we take a moment to speak about fascia and what is fascia and how does ESSE work with fascia and bodies?
Yeah. So the fascia is one part of the body, and in the very beginning when I started with this, I was very focused on that as a part of the body that I was manipulating in a way. But I have since then really recognized that ESSE is going way beyond just the fascia system of the body. ESSE really works on all areas of the body, the energetic bodies, the lymphatic system. Like ESSE really, yeah. So, but what is the fascia? So the fascia is a connective tissue that goes throughout your body, and it's actually quite fascinating because if you were to take the skin and the bones and everything else away, you could still recognize the person standing in front of you just by the fascia itself. So the fascia goes through every fiber of your body. It goes through all of your muscles. It goes around all your muscles. It even is on the bones and everywhere. So you have a connective tissue basically all around. And what science has actually recognized is that fascia responds to a question. And so if you are willing to be in the question, even with the body, the fascia starts to change. So the fascia is alive. They have actually done some observations by putting cameras in the body, observing the fascia in a live body. It is very, very much alive. It moves all the time, and it can also adhere to itself, meaning it can get stuck. So if you, if you some older people that are not staying flexible, that don't move a whole lot, that have a lot of points of views, can literally get very rigid with their body too. But the body doesn't have to be rigid when you get older. The body can stay supple. So this is really often created by a point of view, by a judgment you're holding in place, that then puts rigidity into your body, which is oftentimes literally just the fascia adhering to itself by you assuming a position that you're not changing. And that can also occur when you have an injury. A lot of times you try to protect the area that was injured, so you're using your body in a different way, which means oftentimes that certain things that were moving before are now basically staying more still. And when that occurs, is the fascia starts to adhere to itself. And so you can actually, after, or if you do that for a while, you don't have the range of motion anymore. It just literally isn't possible. But there's many modalities that really target the fascia, like rolfing is one of them, myofascial release. There's many that work just with releasing the fascia so that it actually can be supple again, because you can change all of that. The only thing is with ESSE, this process is not painful. It can be intense, but it's not as painful as rolfing can be sometimes. I don't know if you've ever been rolfed, but it's a bit intense sometimes, you know. And there's also some other modalities where it's really about getting in there and breaking the fibers apart, which works, but it's not a very gentle way to do that. And I'm not saying ESSE is gentle, because it can be quite intense, but it's a different intensity, and your body can be with that intensity in a much easier way than if it's just done by the idea of let's break this apart. Because ESSE is never about that. ESSE, as a matter of fact, to me, is never about changing the body from a point of view like, oh, I know what's best for you, but it's always about, hey body, what would you like? What do you require? What is it that you would like to change here? And then really allowing the body to lead the way. And in the class, that's what we really focus on, is letting the body show you where to put your hands and how to do things, rather than coming from a point of view. So the less you're in your head and the more you're just playing body with body, basically, then it becomes very easy to follow that. And that's probably another big challenge, is to get you out of your head.
Absolutely love that. I mean, it's just so cool. We have a few technical, people have questions about whether this class counts to your bar's facilitator's license for renewal,
I
etc.
wish, I wish. No, not yet. Let's just say not yet. What would it take? Maybe more of you making a request to access consciousness. Why not? And then they look at it, because if it's coming from me, that is a little strange. But if it's coming from you guys saying like, oh my God, la li la la la, maybe then, things could be put in motion. But for right now, no, ESSE is not cannot be used for any renewals or prereqs for anything else. I am very, very sorry.
And once somebody attends an SE class, can they offer these sessions to clients as ESSE sessions, and how does that work?
Yeah. So basically, ESSE, you get an ESSE practitioner logo. You can use that. You basically become an ESSE practitioner. You can do private sessions. You can call them ESSE sessions. The only thing we ask is, if you want to start basically sharing that with other people, is that you become an ESSE intro facilitator. And for that, you have to come to the ESSE Essence class, which is a 4-day class, and we usually offer it once or twice a year somewhere in the world. We're just starting to travel again with all of that. So the next one is probably going to be in Mexico. We're just not sure yet when, but we also usually have one in the castle once a year in Italy. But hey, what would it take to also come to the Asian region for that? And it would also, of course, be the more people are coming to the ESSE class, which is a prereq for this, then we will come to whatever area we know more and more people would like us to be there. So this is usually something it's always Andrew and me together. We facilitate the ESSE Essence class together, and like I said, it's 4 days where you just really dive into this whole energy more intensely, and we work on other parts of the body, etc., etc. And so we just go deeper in a way, and after that class you can become an ESSE intro facilitator. But until then, we're just asking you to not try and teach ESSE, but really please use the sessions, and why not, practice this energy and have fun with it and integrate it into your massage business or whatever you want. We've had many people that came to ESSE classes that have been body workers and that are now using ESSE also in their business, and their clients say to them, my God, what did you change? This is so different. It's so much more dynamic. Like, my body has been really like receiving this in a different way. I feel more relaxed, and like, so all of this stuff. And so please, ESSE is not necessarily only done on the body. You can add it to other things as well. And the thing is, somebody's asking here, if I have some stories about people receiving the sessions. We have so many stories. It's incredible. And what I love the most is that most of these stories are from you guys that have done ESSE and have started working on people and are giving us this feedback about all the things that have been changing. And what I've heard most is people that have been in pain for many, many, many years, all of a sudden being out of pain, and then really not telling us about it for at least 5 or 6 weeks because they were afraid the pain would come back. And then to really, after a few weeks, say, wow, it's really gone. And they are really amazed by that. And so this is one of the feedbacks. But we've heard people talk about having issues with movement, and after an ESSE session, all of a sudden being able to move again in an area that has been rigid for a long time. And like I said, the pain part is probably the story we hear the most. But that is really the fun part, is that these are not sessions that Andrew and I are doing that are creating miracles. So the sessions you guys are doing that are creating the miracles. So it's awesome. I just really, really, really love that. So yeah.
So if I may add, I probably attended an ESSE class, and also Khushbu has attended ESSE classes with Susie. So if we can ask her to share. One of the things that I received after the class was the sense of relaxation in my entire body. It felt like, there was this release, like all the organs that were so tightly, like functioning with, it had to say all the point of views that was holding. There was a sense of release through my body, which was something that I thought was brilliant. And even with all the work that I've done with ESSE after that, people have spoken about the sense of ease and mobility that they have with their body post it, which I think has been my takeaway. Khushbu, would you like to share with us your experience?
Very excited to share. Wait, I have stories. First of all, so I've attended ESSE with you, and it's one of my favorite processes. Like, I love it. And like Tatu said, this total relaxation. But I've also used it, funny enough, for the wisdom tooth that was coming. It was coming at an angle, and it was hurting. So I actually used ESSE inside my mouth for almost a week. And then I'm a dentist. So it changed. And I didn't have to do the surgery. I didn't have to do any of it, which I was avoiding. But it actually changed the direction from at which it was adopting. So that's one.
Wow.
And there was a client that came in that had a left foot drop phenomena. So basically his he had paralysis, and his legs they gained consciousness, but not his left foot. And I did one session, and he thought his toes started moving, and all I did was ESSE, asked to the ESSE energy. And because it's a miracle. I love this. And there's so many other things, but these are the two things that really pop in my world, and to give you like result oriented examples. And besides, it's just really, really relaxing.
Cool.
Susie, we have people asking if this process can be done on distance. Like, is it something that requires a body in front of you?
Yes. So, ESSE, you know, and to be honest, you know, Gary always talks about this too in general about body work. Gary talks about body work being body work because we are touching a body. And so, you know, Gary always has this thing too when people ask him, can this be done in a distance? A lot of things can be done in a distance from the distance, but they are just not working the same way. Now, the interesting thing with ESSE is you cannot do it on from a distance on a body, but you can work on a body and affect another body that is not there. So if you wanted to work on somebody else that is not close to you, please grab a body and work on that body and have the other person watch that session. That can literally change something for that other body. So if you really, really have to do it that way, you can. But this is the only way that I have noticed where ESSE works. Well, because of the many, many, many intro classes that Andrew and I have done, where people that were watching online would say, whoa, this just changed my shoulder. Me just watching you guys work on this person's session completely freed up my shoulder. I have never been able to do this with my shoulder, and now I can. And they were only watching us work on another body. So I know that ESSE works that way. I have no idea how that works. I don't care. I just know it does work that way. But I cannot sit here and do a distance session on somebody with ESSE. Then it becomes something else. You know, Access has so many other energies that you can play with as well. And Dane is inviting you to do, you know, SOP sessions and doing all that kind of stuff. That is off the body. That's an energetic session. And so if you're doing that, you're just doing some other energy, you know, and please do whatever the body is asking for. ESSE is not the answer. Please, guys, don't go there. ESSE is not the answer to your ailments. ESSE is not an answer, period. ESSE is just another energy to play with bodies where you are engaging with the molecules in a different way. And somebody's asking again, you know, what's the difference between that and a body process? I did what I could to in the beginning to explain that the best way that I can. So if you missed the beginning of this Zoom, please maybe re-listen to that part for getting more awareness here. People are also asking, how is this different from what Glenna is doing, EMT? And, you know, for me personally, when Glenna was also doing, like Glenna and I were doing this a long time ago. And the reason that we parted paths was because to me, we were not really congruent with our energy when it came to ESSE. So for me, it was like what Glenna was doing was not quite what for me ESSE really was. And so hence now she's doing her own thing. And so it's neither right nor wrong, it's just different. So EMT is not ESSE, ESSE is not EMT. And please, you guys, ask your body what it wants to do and where it wants to be. Your body will tell you, you know, your body will tell you which energy would be a contribution, and your body knows. So please involve your body in this, because it is about your body, and it's not about you go here or there and one is right and one is wrong. It's just, what is it that your body is asking for? But I can promise you this is very different from energetically speaking, from Glenna's class, because I've had a few people comment, they have given me that feedback and said, oh, this is so different. Okay, cool. So that's all I'm going to say, because it's just different. So, cool. And body whispering, how is ESSE different from body whispering? Well, body whispering should really be part of everything you do with the body. Please, guys, you know, be the body whisperer you truly be, no matter what you do. And so again, how is this different from body whispering? I have no idea. It's just different. So the how I cannot explain, but again, to me, the ESSE is a hands-on process. So you're touching the body, and the moment you touch, your molecular system starts to engage with their molecular system. And so basically you are on a molecular level, you are energetically moving things around. And that is really the best I can explain ESSE. And it's not really a great explanation, but to really get that sense of connecting molecularly. I cannot really emphasize this enough, because for me, when I run a body process, I can perceive the energy running through. When I do ESSE sessions, it's almost as if the energy of their body, like I lift it almost into my body, but I'm not taking it into my body, but I'm inviting the molecules to engage with each other. And it's a very different sensation than letting an energy run. So, and I know that when we do that in class, you do get the difference between, because sometimes we do this little game where we basically just ask someone, or ask the whole class to run a body process and then switch to ESSE, and people are like, whoa. And so it's just a different way of engaging with a body. So yeah, cool.
Thank you for that. I mean, I think you put it in words. I mean, we could. So we have Susie coming to India on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of June is when we will be having our class. This class is in person only, so this is a live class. On the 3rd, it's actually a 2.5-day long class. On the 3rd, we will be having an intro, and the 4th and the 5th is the 2 full-day classes. This will be at the club in Andheri in Mumbai. So if you guys are, so this is soon after the COP with Gary. You guys can also reach out to, so Khushbu has attended ESSE classes and so have I. You can reach out to us if you have any specific questions about, hey, what this is really, and if you'd like more information after this. We have a WhatsApp group where we are kind of building the energy for this class. We are getting you in there. The prerequisite for this class is a foundation. Pallavi, just one second. Okay. The prerequisite for this class is a foundation. And Susie, correct me if this is foundational, one foundation class ever? Does it have to be 12 months before the class?
No.
All right. So it's
no. I mean, if you die, I would say, but it's not 12 months. No, foundation. And by the way, if you want to come to the intro just to see what's going on, you do not need foundation for that. So if you want to come to the intro class, there is no prereqs for that. But if you want to go on in the class, there is basically foundation. And also everybody coming to class has to attend the intro, because to me, I cannot start the class twice. So basically for me, the class always starts the night of the intro. And so if you are attending, please make that part of your travel plans. And the class really truly starts that evening.
Awesome. So, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of June, everyone in Mumbai at the club. Do we have any other questions? Is there anyone who just wants to probably unmute and say hey or say something else?
Yeah, we had someone had their hand up, and now I can't see them
Jigar
anymore.
who had his hand up. Jigar, are you still here?
Or maybe we answered the question, but
we did.
Okay, cool. And somebody is saying, how is this different from SOP? guys, again, you know, how do you put all this in words? It's a completely different class. You know, SOP has prereqs up the wazoo. You can't just come to an SOP class with a foundation. So there's a huge difference right there. You know, the level of what Dane is delivering in 4 days of SOP is completely something different than what we are doing in a 2.5-day ESSE class. There is no comparison. And like I said, ESSE is hands-on and SOP is hands-off. Yes, sometimes you touch a body with SOP, but mostly you're working on the energetic bodies. And, you know, and with ESSE, you are working on the structural embodiment. So it's a very different thing. So Symphony of Possibilities is an energetic playground, and ESSE is a structurally energetic playground, but it requires you to actually touch the body and engage with the molecules in a different way. So to me, again, you can't really compare them. and you know, it really, like, and they all have such an amazing contribution to bodies depending on what's going on. You know, like I said, it's nothing is ever the answer. It's always about, okay, body, what do you require? And then go from there. And I find the more tools you have available, the more fun you can have with bodies, you know. So just, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susie. Thank you so much for this. I think it was extremely informative and people got a sense of what this was. As I mentioned a while ago, if you guys do have any questions that are specific to this class, we have a village literally that is creating this. I mean, it takes a village to create an event like this. We have Khushbu Shah, there's myself, we have Charu, we have Swami, Mansi, and Rashmi. You can get in touch with either of us if you'd like to kind of know more. And the class is on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of June at the Club Andheri in Mumbai. Awesome. Is there anything else we're missing, Susie, Khushbu, something that we need to mention?
No, just come. It's
just
awesome.
come. Yes.
I love it. Just come. It helps with everything.
Let us have some pictures.
Yes.
Yes.
We will pass some pictures. Harish. Thank you all. Thank you, Susie, once again for your time and for doing this.
No, thank you. And thank you. I am really excited to come to
Smile,
India. I haven't
please.
been there in a long time. So it's exciting to be able to come, and yay, what else is possible? And yes, you can offer sessions after the 2-day class. We talked about this too. So yes, please, you know, this is an invitation to you to just have another way to play with bodies. So ask your body. You guys know the tools. You know the tool of asking your body whether it would like to come to this class. Just perceive the energy with your body coming to this class. Perceive the energy in 5 years because of you coming to the class, and or look at, you know, perceive the energy in 5 years of you not coming to class. And that's really the greatest way. Just get energetic awareness of whether this class is for you and for your body. Please ask your body, and please, you know, follow the energy on that stuff. Don't try to make this about something you're rationally trying to figure out. Ask your body and perceive the energy of what this will create for your life, and then you still can choose and do whatever you want. So that's the good news too. You don't have to follow that either, but that's a great tool to have, just so you know what might be a contribution to you. Cool.
Thank you all for joining. We have a recording and we will be making it available in multiple places, and you'll find it if you have to listen to this. And yes, thanks again, and we will see you in class.
Thanks
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Thanks for coming. Bye.